Welcome to the Mind is Psychic, where we talk music, addiction, comedy, culture. If you like this content, please leave feedback and subscribe. Let's get into it. On this episode, I want to discuss technology. Good, bad, whatever the case. Now, I think for most of us, we deal with technology on a everyday basis. What I mean by that is the majority of us have smartphones. So we are connected to each other via text message, direct message, chats, phone calls, video conferences. We interact daily, sometimes hourly, every single day with those mini computers called smartphones. Many can say that they're good. Many people can say they're bad. Many people just can be indifferent. What I want to get to in this episode is I want to look at both sides and just express my opinion on where I think it's heading, where we're at right now, and how we should go forward and not backward with the use of technology. What do I mean by that? We need to understand the importance of limiting technology, limiting the amount of blue light, limiting the amount of screen time, not only with ourselves, but if we have family, children, grandparents, parents, and it's time to just put it down sometimes. Now, I would say most of us find technology as an asset more than a liability. It helps us in life more than hinders us. But I think it could come in, and it has for a lot of people, become an addiction where this technology, we use it so much, especially the smartphones. We use it so much that when we're out to dinner with friends and family, you can see a lot of people at the tables. They're not talking to each other. They're just on their cell phones. Whether it's their children, whether it's the parents conducting business, what have you. And that, I think, is detrimental to society. Now, I'm the last one to talk because I'm always on the phone. Some doing something, reading, doing something on it because it's a mini computer. You can do everything on your phone. You no longer, if you have an idea, you no longer have to write it down on a piece of paper or wait and hope you have that thought when you get home so you can type it into a computer. All of this stuff that you have, all of these different ideas, all of that you have, you can jot it down. Also, with this technology comes sometimes a way of taking yourself out of relationships and having a relationship with your phone instead of a real human being. There's an importance of limiting the amount you use said phone, said device. Like I say all the time, anything to the extreme is an addiction. And that's not unlike technology. Moreover, social media, moreover, television, streaming, money, it all combined, it could be the best thing on the planet, or it also can be the worst. Now, I understand the technology is helpful. Being able to text instead of talk to somebody, or maybe sometimes you don't want to visit with someone and it's easier just to talk to them over a message board or calling them or chatting. Also, information is at our fingertips. Pretty much we can find out anything we want at any given time with our cell phones, which has helped with knowledge, definitely, but it's also, I think, dumbed us down. What do I mean by that? There's no more going to an encyclopedia if you're interested in something and finding it. There's no more writing a math problem out real quick on a piece of paper. All you've got to do is go to your trusty device, open up calculator, and you got the answer for you. Or you go into Google and you type square root of whatever. The answer's there instantly. So you're no longer thinking and trying to solve the problem, trying to figure out the solution, because it's there. I would say more often than not, technology helps us. As my last point of, it makes it easier for us to get information in an instant. It also makes for us not to think fully and think things through. Now, it's great when you, on the fly, you're like, oh, I need this from Amazon. And then you put it in your cart. Or you need to buy groceries and you put it in your notebook, your list app or whatever. Or you're on a diet of some sort and you need to do calorie count. There's that app. It definitely has made life easier and has helped us, but it also has impaired us, as I said to my point before, that everything is so instant now. We expect everything to be that way. We expect everything to be instantaneous and we want it now and we don't want to wait. Companies now have done expedited shipping or delivery because as a society now, we don't want to wait for things. There's no more of that feeling of, I just ordered something and it's going to be here from 2 weeks and I'm excited and I can't wait. I go through every day, can't wait for it to be delivered. Now, we really don't have we don't have to wait because everything is instant. We have Instacart, we have Grubhub, Uber Eats, we have everything at our fingertips. But when is it time to limit that? When is it time to just put it down, focus on life, and focus on the day? To think, to process things, to remember what it's like to be human. Now, how do we do that? We do that by making sure that we feel that we have that love for ourselves. And we can have the ability to put it down. There's all of these different settings now on phones. See, that's how old I'm getting, is I'm still using the word telephone. I mean, the mobile device, the cell phone, the mini computer that you can make phone calls with, you know what I mean, a cell phone, where there's screen time indicators, there's different focus settings where you can set up, where you can have particular times that are allotted for this or that. There are reminders where, okay, you've been on the phone too long, put it down. You've been watching the screen for too long, put it down. Sensors like that, which is good. It's definitely good. But I think for the most of us, we ignore it until we actually think, because it can be detrimental to our lives. And because we see this fake world through the phone and through technology in general, we lose grasp of what it's like to be human. And why? Because we're lemmings that, for the most part, we don't. It's just become a part of our everyday living, and we're so focused on getting through the day, of getting things done, when this continuous rat race of life, that it just became, the phone became an appendage of ours. And if we don't have the phone, that's when we get anxious. That's when we get fearful. That's when we're like, oh Lord, oh gosh, how can I work without this? How can I live without this device? Now let's take it back to the 90s, because we all know that's my favorite decade. Cell phones started to get big, but they weren't nowhere near what they are now. If you had a cell phone in the 90s, it was to make phone calls. Wasn't even to text. Then you got into your early 2000s, and then Nokia came out with the Nokia, I always like to call it the block phone. You could throw it and at rocks, and it was indestructible. It was a good paperweight as well. But they had they started putting video games on their devices. Snake was a big one. This was 2000, early 2001, 2002-ish, that it grew in popularity. And by like 2005, they have Palm Pilots where you can do more business interaction. Blackberries, they had camera phone. They started to get camera phones. Then you started to be able to get music on your phones. So instead of having a CD player, a cell phone, and a Palm Pilot, it's starting to integrate all of them into one. So instead of having 5 devices, you have 3. You can do your email, you can listen to music, you can call, you can text, you can do your chats, whatever. And you could definitely see through the years how they got less expensive. I mean, at one point, you basically have to sell your left kidney to get an iPhone when they first came out in 2007. Now, everybody offers these deals where you lease them. So everybody can have them. Now that's a whole nother point of getting in debt to have a device that you get hooked on. So it's an addiction in its own right, but now you're in debt with the addiction. So, that's a whole nother story. But limiting the amount, I think, is super important. Having the self-control of being able to put it down and meditate in your own way, process in your own way, to have a healthy mind, a healthy behavior, a healthy way of dealing with the day. You know, back in the day when we were kids, we would ride bikes. We didn't have cell phones. We had video games, of course. Now, the phone is the video game. The phone is the production device that you can hook up to whatever. All I'm saying is just be wary of taking time out for yourself and not connecting the device to your brain. Like the whole Neuralink thing that's becoming more and more talked about, that basically you can have something, a Neuralink, basically technology placed in your head where basically the cell phone becomes obsolete. But then it's now hooked up to you and you're now almost like a cyborg. Just be wary of that sort of thing. And I think by limiting and having the idea in your head always that this technology and the cell phone and all of that is there, that can be positive in your life, but it can be extremely negative as well. And it can cause a lot of harm. It can enable people to do things that they shouldn't be doing. And it may bring on different negative consequences to people because they use it so much, or they see things on the internet that isn't life, that isn't real. It's negative, it's fake. And people see this, especially on social media sites. People have these perfect bodies, these perfect images. In truth, a lot of it is photoshopped. Or they see these really expensive luxury cars, or these homes. Most of it's leased. It's not real. Or somebody shows, their stock portfolio. Okay, it's not liquid. They don't have the paper. It's not gold. So what I'm saying is, as good as the technology is and what you can see, it not necessarily means that it's real or it's good. And it's okay to ask questions. You can be scrolling through social media, you can be scrolling through your phone, through your emails, and then you're just like, I don't want to do this. This is just, it's not healthy. And it's okay just to put the phone down. Hey, it's even okay to turn it off. Put it in a drawer for a little while. Put it out of hand's reach. Because we really need to start thinking more intuitively and believing in ourselves as opposed to technology. It's all well and good, don't get me wrong. I love it just as much as everybody else. But it in its own right can become an addiction, a technological addiction. Scrolling through Instagram or scrolling through TikTok hours on end, watching reels and stuff like that. 1 minute you're laying down in bed, and then 8 at night you're getting ready to go to sleep. The next minute you look down at your phone, you've just doom scrolled for 6 hours, and you have to be up at 7 for work the next day. So instead of getting that 8 hours of sleep, you've already been scrolling until 2 a.m. So you only get 4 hours of sleep, and that'll mess up your whole day. all in all, just be mindful, just enjoy others, enjoy time with humans, with activities, and just limit as much as you can the amount of cell phone usage, device usage, video games, TVs, streaming services, all of that. Just take time and enjoy life. I'm out. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe and leave a comment. You can hear me on all major platforms and socials under the Mind of Psychic podcast. See you next time.